Who knows this guy? Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the highest goal scorers in the world. How about this guy? Messi, that's right. Also one of the greatest footballers of all time. Ronaldo, captain of Portugal. Messi, captain of Argentina. Both exceptional players, two iconic leaders. But what's interesting is when you watch them play, when Ronaldo takes the shot, he takes the space, and he scores the goal. For Messi, sometimes, instead of taking the shot, he lures the defenders around him so that he creates space for others to score. Now, between Ronaldo and Messi, which leader would you choose to follow? Who says Ronaldo? Who says Messi? And which leader would you choose to be? Ronaldo? Messi? Okay, there's no right or wrong, right? Both are exceptional captains in their own ways. Let us now explore their leadership styles a little bit more. If you think great leadership is about being visible, being vocal, and being dominant, actually research shows otherwise. A study of over 1,400 companies by Jim Collins, a management guru and the author of the book Good to Great, showed that only 11 companies managed to get from good to great. Companies that manage to achieve sustainable growth results. And interestingly, these companies are not led by the loudest leaders. They're in fact led by what he calls the level 5 leaders. Leaders who are humble, leaders who are deeply committed, and leaders who are driven by the larger good. Now, another deep research on the leader-member exchange theory of leadership conducted by Professors George Grain and Mary Eubin over 25 years shows that if leaders build high-quality, trusting, respectful relationships with their team members, these individuals don't just follow, they actually step up to lead. Now, let me show you. What is this? It's a typical organization chart of a multinational, right? You've got a CEO on top, you've got the ExCo, SVPs, VPs, senior managers, junior staff. A clear hierarchy. I want to offer a bold idea. What if you flip the chart around? Now the CEO is at the bottom and the junior staff is right on top. This idea was inspired by one of my early bosses, Robert. At that time, I was the most junior on this team. And when he created his version of the org chart, guess what happened? I was right on top. And how did that make me feel? I felt empowered. I felt encouraged. And more importantly, I felt that there was space above me. Space to explore, space to contribute, and space to become. And this idea really stayed with me because I realized that through my own career experiences over the years, great leaders, when they get out of the way, they don't lose power. They actually make space for others to grow. Now, importantly, what does making space actually mean? And what does that space make possible? I want to share with you a very personal story of mine, which I struggled to tell for a long time. 8 years ago, I was the first-time regional business leader of a medtech firm. I was inexperienced and was finding my footing to interact with customers and with my team. And I was so afraid to screw up. And then I have, in contrast, my colleague Srini, a veteran in the company for more than 15 years. He was highly experienced and highly knowledgeable. So I relied on Srini to guide me. He traveled with me to many countries to meet our customers together. This was us praying at a temple in Myanmar before we went into a tender meeting. He guided me on how to make deal structures. And he also listened to my people challenges. But what I remember most about Srini wasn't his experience. It was his being, his presence. He was always smiling, always calm and cool, and always ready to help. No matter what stupid questions I threw at him, or what time of the day or nights that I approached him, he was always there. And despite his seniority, he never made me feel small. He always told me with his soft-spoken voice, "Jowyn, you're doing a great job. Keep it up." He believed in me more than I believed in myself. And because of Srini's presence, I grew my confidence as a leader. And I learned how to listen truly to our customers and give the solutions to serve them. So in my first year as a business leader, I met my business targets. And in fact, I exceeded them. I was super happy. Then, one day in May 2020, in the early morning, I woke up to receive a text. "Please be informed that Srini, our dear colleague, had passed on due to a sudden heart attack." I couldn't believe my eyes. I kept on scrolling my phone just to make sure that I was reading it right. And then I called my other colleagues, and this was during COVID time, we were all working remotely. And they too received the same message. I didn't know how to react. And I just broke down and I cried so badly. I couldn't function for the rest of that week. And other colleagues all felt the same. We were all so shocked by the sudden loss. Because he had impacted us in his own way in a very profound manner to each of us. And I couldn't understand why he had to be taken away so soon. He was only 50 and had so much more to offer. So in order to honor Srini, I initiated a memory book so that all our colleagues could share our messages and photos for him, for his family. He had left behind one wife and 2 teenage kids. But what happened next was totally unexpected. Messages poured in from across the world. From US, Europe, Middle East, all parts of Asia. All the messages sharing the same emotion: gratitude and respect. One message said, Srini was honest and humble man. Another said, I will miss Srini's passion and positivity. And reading through all these messages, what came really powerful for me was that Srini didn't just help me grow. He had made space for so many others to grow as well. And even till today, even though he no longer is here, that space carries through with me. He not only created business results, but he created a spirit that will live long even when he has moved on. Srini's leadership was definitely not loud. It was certainly also not visible. But it was deeply transformational for all of us. Because he listened and he cared. So inspired by Messi and Srini's quiet leadership, I came up with a simple 3 O's framework to guide us how we can practice making space for others to grow as well. The first O, observe. To be a great leader, we need to be a great observer. We have 2 eyes, 3 ears, and only 1 mouth. So keep a lookout for what others might miss. Listen first before we speak. And also seek first to understand before we react. Observation will give us clarity and understanding of what we should do next. The second O, orchestrate. As leaders, we will come under moments of pressure. And in those moments, let's ask ourselves, do we react with emotion or do we respond with intention? Because how we show up at that critical moment will actually shape the space around us. And as leaders, we can't control everything. What we can do is to orchestrate the people and energy around us so that we make space for them to deliver. And lastly, to optimize. As leaders, we don't always get it right. Leadership is a constant practice. It requires us to be humble, to tell ourselves, I could have done this better. It takes us courage to also challenge ourselves. How can I show up differently? And it helps us to reflect. What else can I do for my team? To be a great leader, we have to constantly optimize how we lead in order to grow. Now, back to the football field. You guys know this? Suarez, Neymar, Mbappe. They are the next generation of football legends. And make a guess. Who do you think is the leader that has helped them to become who they are today? That's right. It's Messi. Look at the number of goals that he has assisted them to score as of last year. In addition to him scoring his goals, he also made space for others to shine. He made space for others to grow, and he made space for others to become great, like him. So now, whether you are a leader today or you're a leader in the future, if you want to create lasting impact, would you choose to take space or to make space? Thank you.